The way we perceive problems can either limit us or empower us. Too often when a problem arises, our immediate reaction is to see it as a barrier, something designed to stop us in our tracks. But what if the problem isn't a barrier at all? What if it's an opportunity in disguise? A chance for growth, a pathway to a new direction, or even the key to unlocking something greater in your life. The first step to solving any problem is to shift your perspective and see it differently. When you face challenges, it's easy to focus on what's going wrong. The obstacle seems overwhelming, the situation unfair, and the solution impossible. But what if the very thing you see as a setback is actually a setup for something better? Many times the problem isn't the problem, it's how we perceive it. If you see it as insurmountable, it will feel that way. But if you see it as a puzzle to solve or a lesson to learn, it changes everything. Your mindset determines your approach, and your approach determines your results. Think about times in your life when you faced something that seemed impossible. Maybe it was a financial challenge, a career setback, or a relationship issue. In the moment, it felt like the end of the road. But looking back, you can see how that problem pushed you out of your comfort zone and into something greater. Maybe it forced you to get creative, to develop a new skill, or to let go of something that wasn't serving you. Problems often come disguised as inconveniences, but they carry the seeds of transformation. Shifting your perspective doesn't mean denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see the bigger picture. It's about asking yourself, what is this trying to teach me? How can this situation make me better, not bitter? When you ask those questions, you stop focusing on the problem itself and start focusing on the possibilities it holds. Sometimes the solution to a problem is hidden in plain sight, but you can't see it because you're too close to the situation. It's like holding a book too close to your face. You can't read it clearly until you step back. Taking a moment to pause, breathe, and gain perspective allows you to see things differently. Maybe the problem is pointing you in a new direction or revealing something you hadn't considered before. What you initially see as an obstacle might actually be an opportunity to pivot and grow. Life is full of examples of people who turned their biggest challenges into their greatest successes. They didn't do it by avoiding problems or complaining about them. They did it by shifting their perspective and seeing the problem as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. It's not that they didn't feel fear or frustration, they just didn't let those emotions control them. They chose to see the opportunity instead of the obstacle. When you adopt this mindset, you begin to realize that every problem carries within it the potential for something greater. It's like mining for gold on the surface. All you see is dirt, but if you keep digging, you'll uncover something valuable. The dirt isn't the problem, it's just part of the process. The same is true for the challenges you face. They're not there to defeat you, they're there to refine you, to shape you, and to prepare you for what's next. As we embrace this perspective, let's remember that problems don't define us, our response to them does. The way you approach challenges can either keep you stuck or propel you forward. So the next time you face a problem, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this teaching me? Instead of seeing the obstacle, look for the opportunity. Because when you change the way you see the problem, you unlock the power to solve it. As we move forward, let's commit to seeing our challenges through a new lens. Let's choose to see problems not as barriers, but as stepping stones. Let's embrace the opportunities hidden within the obstacles and trust that every challenge has a purpose. When you shift your perspective, you'll find strength, clarity, and solutions you never knew were possible. Thank you. Focusing on what you can control is one of the most liberating and empowering shifts you can make when dealing with problems. So often we get stuck in a cycle of worry, fear, and frustration because we're trying to change things that are beyond our reach. We stress over the actions of others, we obsess about outcomes we can't predict, and we let uncertainty paralyze us. But the truth is, No matter how complex or overwhelming a situation may seem, there are always elements within your control. And when you focus on those, you unlock the power to move forward. When a problem arises, it's natural to feel overwhelmed. Your mind races with questions. What if this doesn't work out? What if things get worse? But those what ifs are rooted in fear, not action. They focus on everything that might go wrong instead of what you can do to make things right. The key to progress is to quiet that noise and shift your attention to the present moment. Asking yourself, what is one thing I can do right now to take a step in the right direction? Sometimes what you can control may seem small. Maybe it's your attitude, your response, or the way you choose to interpret a situation. These may not seem like monumental actions, but they have a ripple effect. When you choose to stay calm instead of panicking, you create a space for clear thinking. When you focus on solutions instead of problems, you open yourself up to possibilities. And when you take even the smallest step forward, you break free from the paralysis of inaction. The power of focusing on what you can control lies in its simplicity. It narrows your focus, reduces overwhelm, and gives you a sense of agency. You might not be able to control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. You can't change the past, but you can choose how you move forward. You may not have all the answers right now, but you can take the next step, and sometimes that's all it takes to shift the momentum. This doesn't mean ignoring the bigger picture or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about recognizing that energy spent on things outside your control is energy wasted. When you try to force outcomes, change people, or fight circumstances beyond your influence, you're not solving problems, you're exhausting yourself. Redirecting that energy toward what you can control not only makes you more effective, but also gives you a sense of peace. Life is full of examples of people who have faced enormous challenges, yet found a way forward by focusing on what they could control. Think of an athlete recovering from a major injury. They can't control the timeline of their healing, but they can control their effort in rehabilitation. Their attitude and their commitment to returning stronger. Or consider someone navigating financial hardship. They might not be able to change the economy, but they can control their spending, seek opportunities, and make choices that set them on a better path. These examples remind us that even in the most difficult situations, there is always something we can do to make progress. Focusing on what you control doesn't just solve problems, it transforms you. It teaches you resilience, patience, and the power of intentionality. You learn to stop wasting energy on things that drain you and start channeling it into things that empower you. This shift not only helps you overcome challenges, but also strengthens you for the ones that lie ahead. As we move forward, let's embrace this powerful truth. We don't have to have all the answers or control every outcome to make progress. We simply need to focus on what's within our reach. Take one step at a time and trust that those steps will lead us to where we're meant to be. The next time you face a problem, resist the urge to worry about what's beyond your control. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do right now to move forward? When you focus on what you can control, you tap into a strength that propels you forward and a clarity that leads to solutions. Let this be the season where we stop letting worry steal our peace and start taking action that aligns with our purpose. Let's commit to living intentionally, choosing courage over fear and action over stagnation. Because when you focus on what you can control, you don't just solve problems, you step into the fullness of who you're meant to be. Thank you. Finding strength in the process of solving problems is one of the most transformative lessons we can learn in life. Too often we're so focused on getting past the challenge that we miss the growth and resilience being built along the way. We see the problem as something to escape, something that's holding us back, when in reality it's preparing us for something greater. The process may not always feel comfortable, but it is in those uncomfortable moments that we develop the endurance, wisdom, and strength we'll need for the journey ahead. When a challenge arises, the instinct is often to wish it away. If only this hadn't happened. If only things were easier, but growth doesn't come from avoiding the hard things, it comes from walking through them. Every great accomplishment, every personal breakthrough, every moment of transformation comes with its own set of challenges. And it's not just the outcome that matters, it's who you become in the process of overcoming. Think about a seed planted in the ground. At first it's buried in darkness, surrounded by dirt. To an outside observer, it might seem like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, something incredible is taking place. The seed is breaking open, roots are forming, and eventually it will push through the soil to reach the light. The process is essential for the growth of that seed. Without the struggle to break through the ground, it wouldn't develop the strength it needs to stand tall. The same is true for us. The challenges we face are not there to destroy us, but to develop us. It's in the process that we learn patience, perseverance, and resourcefulness. Problems force us to think differently, to stretch beyond what we thought we were capable of, and to find solutions we didn't know existed. They teach us to rely on our inner strength and to keep going even when the path isn't clear. This process shapes us into stronger, wiser, and more resilient individuals. One of the most important things to remember is that strength isn't built overnight. It's developed day by day, moment by moment, as you navigate the ups and downs of life. Every time you choose to keep going when it would be easier to give up, you're building strength. Every time you face a challenge head-on instead of running from it, you're growing. And every time you look back and see how far you've come, you're reminded of just how capable you are. The process also teaches us to trust the timing of our journey. Sometimes the solution to a problem doesn't come as quickly as we'd like. It's easy to feel frustrated or discouraged when progress seems slow. But just like a tree takes time to grow strong roots, we need time to develop the strength and wisdom that will sustain us. Trust that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to breakthrough you're seeking. Embracing the process doesn't mean you have to enjoy every moment of it. There will be times when it feels hard, when the progress seems invisible, and when you wonder if it's all worth it. But those are the moments when the greatest growth is happening. Just like a diamond is formed under pressure, your strength is being forged in the challenges you face. As we think about the problems in our lives, let's not see them as something to avoid or rush through. Instead, let's recognize the opportunity they bring, the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become the person we're meant to be. The process may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. As we move forward, let's commit to embracing the process, knowing that every challenge we face is shaping us for something greater. Let's find the courage to keep going, the patience to trust the timing, and the strength to see the value in the journey. Because when we do, we'll discover that the very process we once resisted was the path to the breakthrough we've been waiting for. Thank you, Dot. Facing challenges often makes us feel like we're alone, stuck in a situation no one else can understand. But one of the secrets to solving problems is recognizing the power of perspective. When we shift our view and step outside our immediate emotions, we can see things in a whole new light. This shift in perspective doesn't just help us find solutions, it gives us clarity, strength, and a sense of hope. When you're in the middle of a problem, it can feel all-consuming. It's like standing too close to a painting. All you can see are the individual brushstrokes, the smudges, the imperfections. But if you step back, suddenly the whole picture comes into focus. And you realize those brushstrokes are part of a beautiful masterpiece. Problems are like that. Up close, they can seem chaotic and overwhelming. But when you take a step back, you begin to see their purpose. You see how they fit into the bigger picture of your life, how they're not random disruptions, but pieces of a larger story. Perspective is powerful because it allows you to rise above the noise. It helps you differentiate between what's urgent and what's important. Sometimes the things we stress over aren't the real issues, they're distractions. When you gain perspective, you can prioritize what truly matters and let go of the things that don't deserve your energy. One way to gain perspective is to ask yourself questions that shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on why is this happening to me, try asking, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? Those questions move you from being a victim of your circumstances to being an active participant in your growth. They help you see challenges as opportunities for transformation. Another way to shift your perspective is to look beyond the present moment. Think about where you'll be in a year, 5 years, or even 10 years. Will this problem still feel as big as it does today? Chances are it won't. Often what feels monumental in the moment shrinks when we look at it through the lens of time. This doesn't mean the challenge isn't real, but it reminds us that it's temporary. Perspective helps you realize that you've overcome difficulties before, and you'll overcome this one too. It's also helpful to surround yourself with people who can offer a fresh perspective. Sometimes when we're too close to a problem, we can't see the way out. But a friend, mentor, or loved one might see things we've missed. They might remind us of our strengths, encourage us to keep going, or suggest a solution we hadn't considered. Their perspective can be the spark that reignites our determination. Perspective isn't just about seeing problems differently, it's about seeing yourself differently. It's about recognizing your own resilience and resourcefulness. It's about realizing that the same strength that got you through past challenges is still within you. And it's about trusting that even when things seem uncertain, you have what it takes to navigate the journey. As we think about the role of perspective in solving problems, let's remember that every challenge carries a lesson, and every difficulty is an opportunity to grow. Let's choose to rise above the immediate struggle and see the bigger picture. Let's remind ourselves that problems are temporary, but the strength we gain from overcoming them lasts a lifetime. As we move forward, let's commit to looking at our challenges through a new lens. Let's embrace the power of perspective, knowing that it can transform the way we approach every obstacle. When you step back and see the bigger picture, you find solutions, clarity, and hope. And in the process, you discover that the very challenges you once feared are the ones that make you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. Thank you. One of the most profound secrets to solving problems lies in the power of gratitude. It may seem counterintuitive why be grateful when things aren't going your way. But gratitude isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what's good. Even in the midst of difficulty, when you cultivate gratitude, you shift your mindset, open the door to solutions, and find strength you didn't know you had. When we face a problem, our natural tendency is to zero in on what's wrong. We replay the issue in our minds, analyze every detail, and sometimes we even let it consume us. But gratitude interrupts that cycle, redirects your attention to what's right, what's working, and what you still have to be thankful for. This shift doesn't make the problem disappear, but it changes the way you approach it. Instead of feeling defeated, you feel empowered. Instead of being stuck, you start to see possibilities. Gratitude creates a sense of balance. It reminds you that while one area of your life might be challenging, there are still other areas that are thriving. Maybe you're facing a tough situation at work, but your family is supportive. Or perhaps you're dealing with a health issue, but you're surrounded by friends who uplift you. Gratitude helps you see the full picture, not just the parts that feel heavy. And when you acknowledge the good, it strengthens you to tackle the not so good. One of the most incredible things about gratitude is its ability to unlock creativity. When you're consumed by negativity or worry, it's hard to think clearly. Your mind is in survival mode, focused on the problem rather than the solution. But when you pause to express gratitude, it calms your spirit and opens your mind. Suddenly, ideas flow more freely, and solutions become more apparent. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your perspective, which changes your outcomes. Practicing gratitude doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. Write it down, say it out loud, or just hold it in your heart. It might be something big, like a supportive partner or a new opportunity, or something small, like a kind word from a stranger or the beauty of a sunset. No matter how big or small, gratitude has the power to shift your focus and elevate your spirit. Gratitude is also contagious. When you approach life with a thankful heart, it impacts the people around you. Your positivity inspires others, and your perspective encourages them to look at their own challenges differently. Imagine the ripple effect of one person choosing gratitude. It spreads hope, joy, and resilience to everyone they encounter. Even in the hardest times, there's always something to be grateful for. It might be the lesson you're learning, the strength you're building, or the opportunity to grow. Gratitude doesn't mean you have to love every part of the journey, but it helps you appreciate the journey itself. It reminds you that every step, even the difficult ones, is leading you to where you're meant to be. As we reflect on the power of gratitude, let's remember that it's not just a feeling, it's a choice. It's a decision to focus on the good, even when the bad feels overwhelming. It's a practice that transforms the way we see our problems and the way we move through life. So as we go forward, let's commit to finding something to be thankful for every day. Let's let gratitude be the lens through which we see our challenges, the fuel that powers our resilience, and the foundation for solving problems with clarity and strength. And in doing so, we'll discover that even in the midst of difficulties, there's so much to be grateful for. Thank you, Dot. The final key to solving problems lies in embracing patience. In a world that constantly demands speed, where everything is expected to happen instantly, waiting can feel like the hardest thing to do. But patience isn't just about enduring the wait, it's about trusting the process, believing that the right answers will come at the right time, and understanding that some solutions require time to unfold. When we approach challenges with patience, we allow space for clarity, growth, and the possibility of something even better than what we envisioned. When a problem arises, the instinct is often to fix it as quickly as possible. We want resolution now because waiting feels uncomfortable. But rushing can lead to decisions that aren't well thought out, and it can cause us to miss important details. Sometimes the best course of action is to pause, breathe, and give the situation time to evolve. Patience allows us to step back, gain perspective, and make choices that are thoughtful and intentional. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what you can today and trusting that the rest will come in due time. It's about planting seeds, watering them, and having faith that they will grow. You wouldn't dig up a seed every day to check if it's sprouting. You trust the process, knowing that growth is happening even if you can't see it yet. The same is true for solving problems. Some solutions require time to mature, and patience is the bridge between effort and outcome. Another powerful aspect of patience is its ability to build resilience. When you wait with grace, you develop a strength that can't be shaken by setbacks or delays. You learn to endure discomfort without losing hope, and you discover that your ability to persevere is greater than you imagine. Patience teaches you that even when progress feels slow, it's still progress. It reminds you that every step, no matter how small, is moving you closer to where you need to be. Patience also opens the door to unexpected opportunities. When you're willing to wait, you give space for things to fall into place in ways you couldn't have planned. Sometimes the very delay you're frustrated by is the delay that leads to something better. You might not understand it in the moment, but looking back, you'll see how the timing worked out perfectly. Patience isn't about passive waiting, it's about active trusting that what's meant for you won't pass you by. One of the challenges of patience is managing the uncertainty that comes with it. It's not easy to wait when you don't know how things will turn out. But patience teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. It encourages us to take things one day at a time, to find joy in the journey, and to keep moving forward even when the destination feels far away. In the process, we develop a sense of peace that comes from knowing we're doing our part and trusting that the rest will unfold in due time. Patience is a skill, and like any skill, it gets stronger with practice. Every time you choose patience over frustration, you're building a foundation for future challenges. You're teaching yourself to respond to life's uncertainties with grace, strength, and unwavering hope. And in doing so, you're not just solving problems, you're growing into the kind of person who can face any challenge with confidence. As we think about the role of patience in solving problems, let's remind ourselves that waiting isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to trust the process, to believe in the timing, and to stay the course even when the path isn't clear. So as we move forward, let's embrace patience as a powerful tool in our journey. Let's trust that the right answers will come at the right time, and let's find peace in the process. Because when we do, we'll discover that patience isn't just about waiting, it's about growing, transforming, and preparing for the incredible things that are ahead. Thank you.